mayors didn't like the ravens. They said, "Somebody ought to do something about those ravens." They didn't like the house. They said, "Somebody ought to do something about that house." They didn't like the whole situation, really. They said, "Somebody ought to do something about those people with their strange house and their big ugly tree that looks like a hand and their little boy with the strange black hair." They called the mayor's office to complain, and the mayor's office didn't know what to do about it. So they called the City Planning Commission, and the City Planning Commission called Mr. Notes, who was away on his first vacation in 4 years, but whom they made a point of bothering, because nobody liked him. They asked Mr. Notes, "Will you please come back and visit the people in this house and ask them to paint their house some other color?" And poor Mr. Notes, who was on a road trip traveling to small towns all over the country, taking pictures of his one interest in life, antique weather vanes shaped like roosters, had folded his road map and sighed. "Well, if I have to." On the morning Mr. Notes pulled up to the curb, 5-year-old Gustav Gloom sat on a swing hanging from the big black tree, reading a big black book. Mr. Notes was not happy about having to walk past the boy to get to the house, because he didn't like little boys very much. He didn't like little girls very much either, or for that matter, most adults. Mr. Notes liked houses, especially if they matched the rest of their neighborhoods and had great weather vanes shaped like roosters. Mr. Notes was so tall and so skinny that his legs looked like sticks. His knees and elbows bulged like marbles beneath his pinstriped powder blue suit. He wore a flat straw hat with a daisy in the band, and had a mustache that looked like somebody had glued paintbrush bristles under his nose. He opened the iron gate, expecting it to groan at him the way most old iron gates do, but it made no sound at all, not even when he slammed it shut behind him. He might have been bothered by the lack of any clang, but was even more upset by the odd coldness of the air inside the gate. When he looked up, he saw a big, dark rain cloud overhead, keeping any direct sunlight from touching the property. He did not think that maybe he should turn around and get back in his car. He just turned to the strange little boy on the swing and said, "Excuse me, little boy." Gustav looked up from the big fat book he was reading, which, like his house, his clothes, and even his tree, was all black. Even the pages. It looked like too heavy a book for a little boy to even hold, let alone read. He said, "Yes?" Some conversations are like leaky motorboats, running out of fuel before you even leave the dock. This, Mr. Notes began to sense, was one of them. He ran through his limited collection of appropriate things to say to children, and found only one thing. A question that he threw out with the desperation of a man terrified of dogs who tosses a ball in the hope that they'll run away to fetch it. "Are your mommy and daddy home?" Gustav blinked at him. "No." Or, Gustav said, "really, they might be home wherever their home is, but they're not here." "Excuse me, young man, but this is very serious. I don't have time to play games. Is there anyone inside that house I can talk to?" Gustav blinked at him again. "Oh, sure." Mr. Notes brushed his stiff mustache with the tip of his finger and turned his attention to the house itself, which, if anything, looked even bigger and darker and more like a giant looming shadow than it had before. As he watched, the front doors swung inward, revealing a single narrow hallway with a shiny wooden floor and a red carpet marking a straight path all the way from the front door to a narrower opening in the far wall. Whatever lay beyond that farther doorway was too dark to see. Mr. Notes sniffed at Gustav. "I'm going to tell your family how rude you were." Gustav